Hi there, welcome to my channel. So today we'll be looking at the part B of the case study 2 of the 8-week SQL challenge. If you've not watched my previous video on the part A, I'll leave the link in the description. I encourage you to go and watch it. And today we'll be looking at the part B. The case study 2 actually has 3 parts. We have the part A, B, and then C. We've already solved the part A, and then today we'll be looking at the part B, which is the runner and customer experience. So this is what we are going to look at today. And we'll be writing SQL code to analyze these questions, that is to answer all these questions. So kindly stay with me. Remember to subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Alright, so let's get into it. Okay, so this is the schema for this particular case study. This schema is already on the website, but this one is a modified one because this is a MySQL workbench. The other schema on the website is for SQL. So this one I just modified. It's the same thing, but I modified to fit the MySQL. That I make some changes so that it can be run in MySQL. So once that, I'll leave this particular script in the comment as well, so you can have access to it. So once that you modify it, first of all, let's just create the database and stuff. So here I'm dropping the database if it exists. So let me just run this. Now my database is in use. If I refresh here, I should see that database in use. So here is the pizza runner. Yes. So that database is in use now. Yes. So it's now in use. So the first thing that I will do is, the next is to create the various table and insert or others. So this one is already here. So let me just run all of them together. Okay, so we don't have any error and everything is in section. Everything is moving on well. So now let's try and see. Let's look at some of them. Let's just select one of the database, because one of the database is pizza topping. So let me look at this pizza topping here. So let me say select and select everything from pizza topping. Yeah. So good. You can see this one is also. So these are the things that are in the pizza topping data table. So, and then there are others as well. For example, we have the pizza name. We also have the runner orders. So let's also look at this particular one, runner order, and see. We will be doing some data cleaning, and just as the same thing as because it's the same thing in the in the A, we follow the same. We did the same data cleaning. Yes, so you can see that we have some now values inside and all that stuff. So meaning that we need to do some data cleaning. So let's look at that process. So this is a data cleaning process. I've explained all of them in our previous video, which is the case study, the part A. So can look at it, and then so I'm just going to run all of them. So look at we just follow the same process as I've explained in the A. So I'm going to run all of them. So right now, you can see that all of them I have been able to run all of them. So let's look at the pizza runner again. So I want to select all of them from the pizza runner. that is the runner orders, and you can see now that even though they are now value, they have changed. We have changed them to various. That is the default now value in MySQL. So now let's start answering the questions. So these are the 8 questions, the 7 questions that we have to answer. So we will be starting with the first one. So this is the first one, and the first one is asking and says that how many runners sign up for each week. That is each 1 week period. That is, and we know that the week is starting from first day of January 2021. So what are we going to do? So let's write our first code for it. And what we want to do is that we want to look at the number of runners that sign up for that particular day. So yeah, I'm going to be selecting dates. The first day, that is when they register. So you can see that I'm using a registration date as that particular first day because that's the starting date. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm dividing it by the number of week that we know. The number of days in a week is 7. So that is what I'm doing here. So let me just make it a start of week, and then I also want to count because I'm looking at counting the ID, that is the to know the number of people that sign up. It's actually the runner ID. Okay. But the runner ID is actually inside the runner table. So we want to take this particular thing from the runner table in this database because there are one table in this database called the runner table, which has the runner ID, and that is where we want to pick all these customers from. So let's see. Yeah, I want to make it as sign up. So sign ups, and then so from runners, and then I want to group by the starts of the week. the start of week, and then order by. Now to order by the same start of week. So let's see what we get. Good. So we can see the dates, and we can look at it. We can see that on the first day we are having 2 people that sign up, and then on another day, which is the 8th, we have 1 person, and then on the 15th we have 1 person. Because the question is looking at how many people, how many runners sign up for each 1 week period. So for each 1 week period, so we are looking at it at the interval after for each 1 week, how many people sign up. So, and when we look at here, we are using a date diff function. So that is what we are trying to do. And then when we multiply by 7 weeks, it means that for here, this particular first one, it takes the date and then we are dividing it by 7 to get 1 day out of it. And because we want it to continue, we are actually looking at the multiplying by day. So each week is going to be 7-day interval. So we are looking at the 7-day interval. That is why we have the interval here. So the 7-day interval is what we are going to use, and we are counting them. So that is why we use the count function. So that is for the first question. That is all about the question 1. So let's look at the question 2. So the question 2 says that it said that what was the average time in minutes it took for each runner to arrive at the pizza runner headquarters to pick up the order. So you want to look at the average time in minutes. Average time in minutes each runner took to arrive at the headquarters, that is the headquarters of the pizza runner, to pick up an order. So that is what we want to look at over here. And we will be, because we want to look at an average, we are going to use an average function, and we also use a time function to be able to get our time. And we will use them in the time function. We are going to use the minutes as well. So that is for that particular one. But one thing we should note over here is that for us to be able to get the time, we need to go to the pickup time. We need to go to the runner table, and we also need to look at the customer orders as well. So it means that we'll be looking at the 2 tables over here, and which means that if you are looking at 2 tables, we need to do a join. So we're looking at the runner orders, because here it is the runner that arrived over there. So what was the order? Without an order, the runner will not be there. And then without a customer too, there will not be an order, or there will not be a runner to go and pick up an order. So let's start with our select, and then select, and then we want to, the first thing that we want to do is that, let me give from first. So from the first one is that runner orders. So that is what I want to pick from. And then here, over here, because I have runner and I'm going to join it with a customer, so let me use r dot runner ID. I want to look at the ID, r dot runner ID, and then now I want to use the average function. And in the average function, I'm looking at time, so I'm going to use a timestamp. So here, I want to use the minute function, the minutes, and order time. So that's what I'm focusing on. And the next I want to focus on is the pickup time, the time they order to the time that they pick up. So pick up pickup time. Those are the two things I'm looking at. The difference, I'm looking at the difference between the order time and then the pickup time, and I want to convert that particular time into minutes. So that is what I want to do, and I want to name this one as, I want to alias it as somewhere, let me say average. Okay, average minutes, so that it will reflect what I'm doing. Average minutes to pick up. So average minutes to pick up, and here, because I use R, so I'm using as R. So the next is to do a join customer. So looking at the customer orders as C, and here I want to join on. So what do I want to join on? R dots runner, that is the runner orders dot the order ID should be equal to C dot order ID. So that is what I'm looking at. Now, one thing we should note over here is that we are looking at a pickup order, and we are looking at pickup time, but we should also note that there may be a situation where there will not be an order at all, or there will not be a pickup time. Yes, let me say pickup time. So it means that if there is no pickup time, it means that there was no order. So there can be an order where there's no pickup time. Once we have a pickup time, it means that somebody actually picked the order up. So we want to make it that we want to focus on where the pickup time is not now. So that is where we should look at. The pickup time is not now. And let's group by R dot runner ID. Alright, so I think this should work for us. Let's run it and see. We have an error. It says that R dots. Oh, okay. R dots randa. So there is a mistake somewhere. It's not supposed to be randa. Good. This one is supposed to be runner. So we have the runner, not randa. Good. So now it's working for us. So this is the average minutes to pick up. So you can see the first runner, the pickup was, the average minute was 15.3, and then the next one was 23.4, and then 10.0. So this is the solution to question 2. Let's look at question 3. Question 3 says that is there any relationship between the number of pieces and how long the order takes to prepare? Is there any relationship between the number of pieces and how long it takes? So let's look at how this is going to work. The first thing we want to do is that let's look at the let's count the number of pieces, and also look at from the order table, and let's join it actually with the customer order table. So what I'm going to do is that let me just copy the same thing over here, and then let me paste it here and see what I'm going to get. So now I have but I'm not going to use this one because this is not what I'm looking for. So I think I can go away with this, and then because it says that is there any relationship, so I want to focus on the time once again. So let me see, because we are looking at the time difference, how long it takes. So and let me use the max function. Okay, so let's repeat the same code. Let there be the same code, and then in this case, let me change this one to max time div, and then I want to look at the minutes again, pick up time, but then yeah, let me change it to maybe order. Okay, order prep time. So where the prep stand for order preparation. Okay, so order prepare time, however you want to say it. So here I'm looking at the maximum time difference between the order time and then the pickup time, because for it to, it is assumed that as soon as there is a customer place an order, they start preparing it. As soon as they receive an order, they start preparing it. So the preparation time starts when there is an order. So that's how we assume it. We assume that the preparation time, they start preparing the pizza as soon as they receive an order, and then we are ending it at a pickup time, because we also assume that once that they are done, there is a pickup. Though sometimes they may delay the pickup, the runners may delay in picking up, but because there is no explicit time stated in our database that, oh, this is the time that they finish preparing, we assume that it is when they pick up, that is when they are done preparing. Because there could be a case where sometimes too, the runners will go and that the order is not ready yet, they've not finished preparing, so they also have to wait more. Those possibilities are all there, but here, this is how we are looking at it in terms of. So here we want to, now we want to do a join. We are joining on the first one. Say r dot, and then we want to look at the order ID, and then c dot order ID, and we want to look at the same thing where pickup time is not now. So this is what we have, and then let's run this one and see what we have. There's an error somewhere. Okay, yeah, I've seen it. It's supposed to add count function, because we are looking at it. We want to, first one is we want to count, so we need to look at the count over here. So what do you want to? You want to look at the pickup time or the pizza ID. Let's look at the pizza ID here. C.pizza ID. The pizza ID is in the, what do you call it? The pizza ID is actually inside the customer, or is on the customer table, customer order table. So that is it. And you want to know number of pizzas. Then you have number of pizzas. So what we are going to do is we are going to actually copy the whole of this one, and we use it as a CT, that is a common table expression. Before we continue with that, so let me just cut the whole of this, and then I'll write with CTE as, then I have, so I can close it, and then inside I have this. So this is my CT. So after the CT, and then I would come with a select. And what do I want to select? I want to select the number of pieces. That's the number of pieces. I have the number of pieces. And then I also want to look at the average prep time. This I've already gotten the maximum time over here. That is the maximum time it takes. So the next is that I want to use the same thing. I want to calculate the average of this maximum time. So then I'll use the average function. And then order prep time. The order prep time as. So I want to make it as average order prep time. So average order prep time, and I want to select it from CTE. So from CTE, and then I want to group by. So what do I want to group by? The number of pieces. So that is the first one. The number of pieces. So that's what I want to. So I'm sure this should be able to give us, because we are actually looking at whether there is any relationship between the number of pieces and how long it takes. So that is what we want to look at. We want to look at is there any relationship between pieces ordered, that's the number of pieces, and the preparation time. Is there any relationship like that? So let's run this and see. Okay, I get an error. It says that. So we are getting error again. Okay, so yeah, because I copied it from here, because I copied the code. I didn't change this one. This is supposed to be order ID. You're supposed to have order ID, and here there shouldn't be space. So you can see with that particular space, it will always give us error. So this. So now let's run again, and we should get our answer. So now let's run this, and good, you have our result. So we can see the average order prepare time, and based on this, if we look at it, they are asking is there any relationship between the number of pieces and how long it takes to prepare. Now you can see that there is a relationship. Why am I saying that there is a relationship? If you look at the number of pizzas ordered and you look at the time, you can see that yes, one pizza takes 12 minutes, and when you two pizzas, it's taking 18 minutes, meaning that the more the pizza, the more the hours. And then 3 pizzas is taking 29 minutes on average. So that is what it means. So yes, there is a relationship between the number of pizzas ordered, that's the number of pizzas, and then how long it takes to prepare. Because sometimes with this, somebody may say that if one pizza is taking 12 minutes, then 2 pizzas will take 12 times 2. But it doesn't work like that, because sometimes with 2 pizzas, they can mix all the ingredients together and it reduces the time. Unlike when you have to, maybe the equipment is able to take only 2 pizzas mixing together, you can mix them together. And then when you are done, we will mix another one again. So yeah, there is a relationship. So that is it for question 3. Let's look at question 4, which says that the question 4 is saying that what was the average distance traveled for each customer? So for each customer, what was the average distance travel? So let's start. Let's do our select. So we are selecting, and we want to look at customers. So we want to focus on customers. So we look at customer ID. So we have the customer ID, And then the next we want to look at is we want to see the average. So average and distance, the average distance. So here we want to alias it as AVG, distance travel. So, and I want to emphasize that first of all, let's look at this. Let's leave this one and then look at this. Select. So let's see something. Or and then from customer orders. So we want to look at this from customer orders. And let's look at the customer order table and see what you have in it. So you can see that we have the customer ID, and then we have all these, the extracts and then exclusion, time and all stuff. So the order time is also found over here, the pizza ID, the order ID, the customer ID. And now let's also look at that of the runner orders. So the runner orders. And on the runner orders, you can see you have the distance over here. Okay. You can also see you have the distance over here. You have the time, the pickup time here, the cancellation, whether it has been cancelled or not. Yeah. So which means that if we want to look at the distance traveled by each customer, you have to merge two tables together. That's the runner orders and then the customer orders. Now, mind you, this particular distance is in kilometers, so you should bear that in mind. Alright, so let's go here. So that's why I'm making it average distance traveled kilometers, so that I'll be aware that okay, this distance is kilometers. So here I want to select from the customer orders. So customer orders, and I want to alias it as C, and I'm joining it to the runner. So runner orders, and this one as R. So I want to join on the C dot order ID should be equal to R dot order ID, and then I want to say that I'm looking at, when you look at the distance, you can see that some of them are now. So I want to say that where distance is not now, because I'm not looking at those distances. I'm looking at only distances that are that they are distance. Once the distance is now, it means that there's no order. Yeah, as you can see over here, there's no pickup time as well. There's no order time. There's no, it has been cancelled by restaurant and yet to have been cancelled by customer. So that is that. And then I want to group by. So group by customer. Group by customer ID. I want to group by customer ID. And I think this is all that. So let's run this. Good. And we have average distance. So here I don't want to have this plenty decimal number. So let me run this and let me calculate the average again. But I'm just running it, so let me use the round. And then I want to run it to 2 decimal places. So comma here and then 2. Okay. So this should be able to give me only 2 decimal places. Good. So that is what you have here. So that is the distance, the average distance traveled for each customer. So for this particular customer, this is the average distance, and so on and so forth. So that is for question 4. And then question 5. question 5 is saying that it says that what was the distance between the longest and shortest delivery time for all orders? So this one should be simple. Select, and what we want to look at the distance. That's what was the difference between the longest and shortest delivery time. So here we are focusing on the time again. So what it means is that first of all we are going to look at the durations, and we take the maximum duration and we subtract the minimum duration out of it. That is the highest duration. So we take it if it takes 30 minutes for one and it takes another 20 minutes, it means that the difference is somewhere 10 minutes. So we are going to subtract the maximum, that is, we are going to subtract the minimum from the maximum. So 30 minus 20. So that is what we do right here. So you have the max, and we say duration. So max duration and then minus mean of duration. So mean duration, and here I want to alias it as, I want to say that delivery time difference, delivery time difference. So delivery time difference in minutes. Okay, so I think in minutes in min. So that should work. And I want to, where do I want to pick it from? In order to do it, the duration is in the runner order table. So you have the runner orders. And the runner orders, and where here to my focus is on where there was actually a delivery or where there was actually an order. So where duration is not now. So that is what I want to focus on. Where I have my duration is not to be now. So that is. So let me run this. Good. So that is it. So we are having the delivery time difference to be 30 minutes because we are looking at the difference between the longest and shortest delivery time. So we just pick only one of them. Now let's see something here shortly. Let's go back to, let me select all from the runner table, runner orders, and let's quickly see something. And if you pick the runner orders, you can see the durations. You can see all the durations over here. So what we are trying to do over here, we are trying to find the difference between the longest duration and the shortest duration of delivery. And when you look at all of them, you can see the longest is 40 because the 40 is the highest of all of them. And then the shortest is the 10. And it's 10 over here. So what it means is that the difference that we are looking at is actually 40 minus 10, which is giving us 30. So that is for this particular one as well. So and that was what we had over here, 30. All right. So that's that. So that answered question 5. So we move on to question 6. So question 6 is saying that what was the average speed for each runner for each delivery, and do you notice any trend for these values? All right. So this one, it's kind of a twofold question. So it means that when you write your code, whatever that answer you get, you have to also explain it, whether you notice any trend or not. All right. So yeah, you want to say what was the average speed. So let's start writing this one. Always starting with select, and what do you want to select? Here it says that the average speed of each runner. So it means that we are going to the runner table, and the runner order table. One of the things that we want to look at is the runner ID. And now we want to look at the speed. And you know, speed is calculated as the distance over time. So you have the distance over time, so that we can be able to calculate our speed. So which means that for me to do anything over here, it's going to be my distance divided by my duration. And you know, the duration is we have our duration to be in minutes. So if the duration is in minutes, how do I do that calculation? How do I change it to an hour? So which means that the duration too will be divided by 60 minutes multiplied by 1 hour to get an hour, because I want to calculate the speed in kilometer per hour. You can't calculate the speed. If you want to calculate the kilometer using the minutes, then it means that I have to change the kilometer also to meter, reducing it to the smaller unit. But I want the commonest unit for the speed is kilometer per hour. So here, because I know definitely there will be a decimal, so let me just use round. Let me just use round once and for all. And then I have my distance divided by duration. And as I said, duration is in minutes, so I want to convert it to an hour. So let me do it once and for all. So I'll say duration divided by 60 inside here, and then I'll close this particular parenthesis. So here it means that I'm actually changing, I'm making it a distance divided by time, and the time is the duration, which was in minutes, so I'm converting it to hours, and I'm rounding it to 2 decimal places. So let me run it, close it, and then let me alias this one as maybe speed. Okay, speed, and I will say kilometer per hour, speed km per hour is hour. So like this, and then where do I want to select from? The runner orders. So I have the runner orders. So my runner orders, and then where my duration is not now, because duration is not now, and I want to order by the runner ID. And where from this coming from says that okay, here there's supposed to be a comma here. Good. So let me run this, and then good. So I now have for each of the runner, because that's what you're looking at. I'm looking at each runner for each delivery. We can see for runner 1, the speed in kilometer per hour is this for all of them. So that is what is being required of us. So that is that. So the next question, which is the last one, question 7. So the question 7 is saying that what is the successful delivery percentage for each runner? Now before you go to the question 7, let's look at the question 6. One says something here. It says that each delivery, and do you notice any trend for this value? I leave that one to you. Do you notice any trend in this particular? Do you notice any trend? If you notice any trend, comment in the comment section. Leave your comment in the comment section and identify the trend that you notice in the comment section. And I'll be glad to read your comments, the trend you notice, and what is your take on that particular trend. So let me see your response in the comment section. Now let's move on to the last question. So the last question says that what is the successful delivery percentage for each runner? What is the successful delivery percentage for each runner. So here we want to look at the percentage for each runner, the successful select. So select, and we want to look at the runner ID, because we are also on the runner, so we are still using the runner ID. We are selecting the runner ID. The runner ID will help us know which runner is having that particular percentage. And you will use count to count the order. So we want to count the order IDs, and here as orders. And then I also want to look at them here, because I want to calculate percentage. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to use a sum function, and inside the sum function I will use a case. So let me start with sum, and then I'll open the parentheses like this, and inside I'll break it down. So the first thing that I want to use over here, that's here, as I want to see. So let me use case inside before, then I'll break it down. So here, so my case, the first one is when pickup time. So let me look at the pickup time. When pickup time is now, because we are looking at a successful delivery. So when there is the pickup time is now. So what I want to do is that, because I'm using case, I want to iterate. Like when the pickup time is null, I want to assign a value. Else, if it is not null, I also want to assign a value. So if the pickup time is null, what value do I want to assign? I will assign 0. So I'll say then 0. Else 1. So that's what I want to do. If there is the pickup time is null, then give that particular assign 0 there. If the pickup time is not null, give 1. So that is what I want to do, and I'm going to end this particular. I'm going to end it. So I'll just say end. So I'll use the end function here. And what I will do next is to divide this by the count of the orders. The count of the orders, and I'll multiply it by 100, because I'm looking at the successful delivery. So when I am able to count all of them, then if you're able to count them, then you divide it by the orders, and then you multiply it by 100 to get a percentage. So that's what I want to do. So divided by, I've already made this one as count order ID. So I'll just use the orders here, then times 100, and then I will alias this as delivery. So delivery percentage. So delivery percentage, and then I want to select it from runner orders, and group by. So group by what? What do I want to group by? I want to group by the runner ID. The runner ID. And then I think this should give us our results, what we are looking for. Good. I think the error is coming from here. So let me just use this, the whole of this. So let me run this. Good. So that's where the error was coming from. Good. So this is what we have here. So this is our answer. We can see the delivery percentage for all of them, meaning that when you look at the runner ID one, there were 4 orders and there was 100% delivery. Here too, we have 4 orders, 75% delivery. We have the runner, we have 2 orders, 50% delivery. Now, in order to get rid of this plenty percentage, I'll use floor. So I'll floor it so that I'll get rid of the whole of all this percentage. So let me use floor. So I want to floor it. I've opened a parenthesis, so I need to close it here. I need to close it somewhere here. Good here. So let me run this. Good. So the 0.00 are all gone. So this is the last one as well. So we can see the successful deliveries. You can see all of them, the percentage of successful delivery as the question requires. So this brings us to the end of our lesson for today. And thank you so much for staying with me up to this point. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, share with your friends, and like this video. Also remember to turn on the post notification button so that you don't miss any future videos. You'll be notified instantly anytime I upload new videos. Thank you. Bye-bye.